Hey Angela, Kaylee Jean here with Falcons and Pentacles Tarot, and welcome to your personal 6-month reading. I decided to go ahead and do this reading for you in video format, so I hope that's fun and okay for you. So, since we've worked together in the past, I feel like I can skip sort of like the introductory phase and just go right into the reading. The first thing that I always do whenever I do a reading is I meditate, and I've been connecting more and more with a particular mediator guide who helps me to receive messages prior to pulling any cards and just kind of connect with you. So things don't always come through as direct messages when I do this. In your case, a lot did come through, so I'm excited to share with you everything that I saw because there was a lot. So the first part of your reading is going to be me sharing with you what I saw, and I will be referring to my notes, which I have right here. They're not that great because I tend to scribble when I have my eyes closed. So, forgive me if it takes me a minute to decipher all the messages, but I remember them too, so. Okay, so the first thing that came through your reading, right as I was really getting into a deep meditative state, I connected with my guide, and she immediately flashed into my mind an image of someone dancing. And it almost felt like she was wearing like a red kind of like skirt or something, and it felt like there was like a community. It was almost like she was dancing in like a community sort of place where people go to dance. Like it was like a studio, and then outside I could see almost like there was like a big window, and there was a street on the outside of the window. So it made me feel like there could be, something coming up for you, some kind of opportunity for you to take up some kind of dance or some kind of movement, whether it's, salsa or, some kind of exercise dance or something, for cardio, but also, that really lifts you up and makes you feel sort of spirited and enthusiastic and excited and energized. I feel like there's something that could be coming up for you within the next 6 months that involves you getting out into like a communal space and, maybe paying a fee to do this, but, getting in touch with other people that way. So that was really interesting. I have no idea if that's something that you've thought about or that you feel compelled to do. But, if you don't have any interest in that at all, it could just be, like some other kind of message for you that might become more clear later on. So that was the first thing, and I really loved that. The other thing that she said was group participation in a subject, and then she showed me a person at a table like holding a book. So I don't know if you're thinking about learning something, like taking some kind of course or educating yourself, or, maybe taking community classes at like a community college or something like that. But there was something here, almost like either that or like a book club or something, that I also felt was highly potential for you, like a high potential that you would take part in something like that if there's a subject that you want to learn about. So both of those things coming up do feel like opportunities and potentials for you, not necessarily things that would just land in your lap or that you'd be forced to do, but just if you wanted to. I feel like those two things have like a strong vibration for you at some point over the next 6 months. The other thing she said, and this was really interesting, she showed me the stars, and then she said, marriage to yourself. And she showed me like a woman with a veil, like a white veil over her face, and then the veil was lifted and she pulled it back. So I got chills, when I saw it at first, and just now when I did that. So there's something really interesting about that for you. I don't know if you've ever thought about the concept of like marrying yourself. I know that there's some people who might do that as kind of like a ritual, and it symbolizes something along the lines of, honoring yourself and committing to your self-care, committing to yourself. So that was really interesting and beautiful with the veil being lifted. I felt like that was just so symbolic of you kind of having a more direct relationship with something really important in your life, which could have to do with, a different aspect of you, an unexplored aspect of yourself, maybe a creative aspect of yourself, or the aspect of you that dances or, reads books or writes books or something along those lines. So that was really lovely. And, okay, she also said oracle cards, and she showed me a quartz point, like a double terminated quartz point, which actually I have like one like this. It was kind of like this, but it was thicker. So she showed that to me, and she said oracle cards. So I don't know if you read oracle cards or tarot cards. I always keep mine right here, so I thought I would just show you a few in case you're someone who doesn't know a lot about oracle cards, but these are some that I recommend. There's Earth Magic Oracle by Stephen D. Farmer. I really like this one for spring and summer. But anyways, she was kind of showing me oracle cards and like encouraging you to read them. Like she made me feel like you'd be really great with them. And so, if you don't have any decks, I just felt really called to recommend some to you. So we have Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reid, which I really, really recommend. It's a beautiful deck, and you probably recognized it from the recent YouTube readings that I've been doing. And the Energy Oracle by Sandra Ann Taylor, which is a classic. It was my first Oracle deck. It was my first ever card deck, actually, and it's still one of my favorites. So I don't know if you already read Oracle cards or tarot, but you would be really great, especially with Oracle cards. For some reason, she was like, you got to tell her about the Oracle cards. I'm like, okay, I'll tell her. So there's that. And the last thing that came through, I don't really know. I mean, it didn't really make complete sense to me, but, and it might not make sense to you right away, but she said, she gave me like a all over tingly feeling in my body. So I knew that she was talking about like your health, and she said, take care of your joints. And she actually gave me a tingling feeling in my right ankle. So this is really random, but it's something that, of course, I'm always, if she tells me anything like that, I have to share it. So I don't feel like anything is going to negatively happen to your right ankle or anything like that, but she made me feel like she was almost showing me running shoes, and she was almost making me feel like, make sure that you're wearing the right shoes if you go like running or hiking, or if you spend time like doing activities outside. Make sure that you're wearing the right shoes for it. Don't overdo it. Don't push yourself too hard. And just do things that take care of your joints, a little bit better. Like you could try like some kind of joint health supplement, something with maybe glucosamine or collagen, or something that is supportive to the joints, because she made me feel like, your joints could use a little bit of extra care, and just being really gentle, like she gave me this feeling of walking gently, like walking slowly, and like placing your feet on the ground in a very even way, just kind of being gentle with your body. And so sometimes, I don't know if you run or if you do a treadmill or anything, but sometimes if we, aren't thinking about it, we can be like jogging pretty hard on our joints. And she made me feel like, just being really, tuned in to like your knees and your ankles and, those parts of the body. So I have no idea if that makes sense to you, but, beyond that, she made me feel like your health was like really great, and, nothing big to worry about there. It's just a little bit of joint support is being recommended. And I'm not a doctor, so, obviously always check with your doctor before supplementing or doing anything like that. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and get into your cards. So I will show you what I'm doing. I figured we would start with just a quick, large spread to show the general energies, and then we'll look month by month so we can see anything specific that's coming up. Angela. Clear guidance for Angela. I'm not going to spend too much time here because I want to get the overview as well. So you've got the Hanged Man and the Page of Pentacles, the Magician, Six of Swords in reverse, Eight of Cups in reverse, King of Wands in reverse, Two of Swords, Three of Cups, Four of Swords, Four of Wands. Wow. So you've got, you got a couple fours, threes, twos, and a page. So you are kind of at like a new beginning point because you have a lot of like lower cards. I feel like there's some kind of desire within you to be more expressive. You know, what you have at the root of the reading is the Magician, which is about your creative self-expression. It's about entrepreneurship and creativity, manifestation, you know, using the energies that you have, being outgoing, you know, sort of making things happen, you know, it's a very spiritual card as well. You know, it's like letting yourself be a channel, letting yourself kind of express things. And so there could be some things, you know, that you're holding on to like internally that, you know, some of them are like inspiration related. Some of them are things that it feels like you want to do creatively that you maybe haven't made time for. Others of them feel like avoiding the conflict type of things, like you said, you know, like there's some things that maybe like ways that you feel about certain situations or people that you haven't communicated because you are keeping the peace somehow. So there is like a fundamental need, you know, that's arising within you to embody the Magician energy more. You know, this is about trying new things, being creative, and, you know, thinking in like a solution-oriented way and not being stuck inside a box. So I feel like a lot of this reading is about you getting out of a box of some kind, because you find yourself in the Hanged Man position, which is, you know, feeling a little bit stuck, feeling that you've had to kind of just like surrender to the energies that have been present in your life. And that could be also like where you've been kind of, the current has been taking you. And now it's time for you to, it's like you're desiring to take the reins. You're desiring to sort of be in charge. You're desiring to be more in the driver's seat of your life, where in like some situations in your life, you've been going with the flow, which is a good thing and right for you at the time, but you are entering into a more like take charge attitude in your life right now, it feels like. Eight of Cups is really, to me, just about trusting your intuition, going within, paying attention to how things feel to you. You know, if you are thinking about doing something new, does it make you feel expansive, or does it make you feel like you're contracting a little bit? Like this is a really good indication that you have a really deep connection to your subconscious and to your intuitive world. I feel like with this card, you could also be doing some dream work, or, you know, going on like an inner journey in a lot of ways. You are kind of separating yourself. Like you are very much still in your role, the role that, you know, it's like Angela, the mother, you know, the wife, the person, you know, that you are from like the external perspective, but you're also something so much more than that. You know, like there's a lot of depth in you. And there's an opportunity for you to explore that and to sort of coax that out over the next 6 months, which is what that magician is talking about. The King of Wands in reverse in the next step position, it does make me feel like you could be faced with some kind of decision that either alters like the course of your life, especially in terms of your creativity and your self-expression. These are both really powerful cards for entrepreneurship and being an artist, or, you know, being creative in any way. The King of Wands is really bold. You know, he just says what's on his mind, and he knows his own mind really well. He's also someone who will, you know, be persuasive, you know, if he has to. So I feel like there's something here about, like, with this reversal, about really, like, going into that inner fire that you have and, you know, connecting with that passion, connecting with what ignites you, you know, and then just, like, going with it, not caring if it seems like it's putting you in a position that you're not used to, or it puts you in an environment that, you know, you don't necessarily have a reference for yet. You know, if you don't feel like you know exactly who you are right now, that's normal, because you are sort of in a metamorphosis. I just feel like you're going to be either studying something new, and you're going to meet people and connect with others through that channel, like through some kind of education, or, and it could also be or you're going to be connecting with people through some kind of dance or like physical activity with the Four of Wands, you know. But either way, the energy that you're going into, the general energy of the next 6 months for you, it is about celebration and dancing and, you know, having a good time, being with people that you love, and also having a structure to your life, you know, like knowing what time is for you and what time is like for your other responsibilities, and having this like clear, sort of grounded, but passionate lifestyle. You know, I feel like this is about embracing what you really love and, you know, sharing that with others, because this is a card of connections. So even though right now you have the Three of Cups in reverse, which does indicate like a lack of female friendships, and maybe just like a lack of friendships, you know, outside the home in general, that's literally what the Three of Cups means. Even though you're in this place right now, your future place, or like where this is landing by the end of the 6 months, is you are going to have more connections. You're going from the Three of Cups in reverse to the Four of Wands. So this is going to be about taking action and, you know, putting yourself out there, doing some new things, celebrating that, you know. And I also was feeling like with the stars that they were showing me, it kind of made me feel like almost like women getting together around astrological events, almost like a new moon gathering or a full moon gathering, or, you know, something along those lines, where it's like you get together and you're, you know, feeling the energy of something. You know, it just felt like there's almost this kind of like magical or spiritual component to it. So I don't know if that interests you, but I do see that as a distinct potentiality. The Two of Swords in reverse in your present energy shows that, you know, in the past you have been in this place of kind of, you know, waiting. Like, I feel like there's been almost like this sense of like purgatory in a way, or like the uncertain areas of your life, there's been this more passive, like waiting energy. But you're ready to like get outside of that. You're ready to get outside of your box. But the thing is, with the Four of Swords in reverse, I feel like this is, you know, like really encouraging that. Like, it's these reverse swords cards, they both show a woman who's like by herself. And you can also pause the video if you want and just go into these cards because they might have like further subconscious messages for you. But what these are really saying is that, you know, it's time. Like, it's time to branch out a little bit. You are not destined to be, you know, a loner. You know, like that might be part of your personality and it might be a bigger theme in certain chapters of your life, but you're definitely not meant to feel lonely, you know, forever. You know, this is something that like you can resolve. And it's something that is going to require a little bit of action on your part. Like this woman she's a little bit hesitant. She has her doubts. She has her suspicions. She feels like she's maybe a little bit suspicious of what other people's motives are. But she's coming out into the light anyway. And she's holding these herbs which represent healing and forgiveness. So she's letting go of past resentments. You know, she's letting go of emotional baggage. She's letting go of anything that made her want to stay in the shadows, and she's embracing the light. You know, she's letting it go and embracing and moving forward with new relationships. And I feel like it's the same thing with this Two of Swords in reverse. It's saying that if you felt kind of dubious or like going back and forth, kind of ambivalent about the idea of making friendships because it's almost like you don't trust people or something, or you're not sure if you can, and you've had bad experiences in the past. But I feel like this is a time to really embrace your passion and your joy and let that be your focus. You know, let the joy of connection be your focus over the next 6 months. And you're going to be so happy that you did. Like, you're going to be really, really joyful about that. Because, you know, this is genuine connection, and especially with women. And it's so interesting to me that we saw the red dress in the meditation, and we see a red dress here. So I'm not sure what that means for you in your life, but to me that feels significant. So let's go and look at the next 6 months, month by month. And we're just going to read the energy here. Whenever I do timing and things of this nature, I always like to say that, you know, it's just kind of like a reading of the energy. We're looking at the potentialities. What we see here might actually unfold slightly differently than, you know, how it comes up. And that's because the future is not set in stone. You know, this isn't a guarantee. It's also not like a something that would make you feel like, you know, if we see things that we don't like, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's all going to come to fruition this way. It's just kind of reading the energy of the present moment. There's no other energy that we can read except for the energy of the present moment. And based on how these energies are at the present moment, we can sort of see how they're going to move in the future. But that can change. Everything is subject to change. Clear guidance for Angela in the next 6 months. What do they look like for Angela? Next 6 months to her birthday next year. What does Angela need to know to her birthday next year? So I'm just going to turn these over and I'm going to read the energy and I will share with you what I'm seeing. The moon, the moon, and the Four of Wands, which you just had come up. So that's really nice for October. the rest of October. Justice and the Page of Swords. November, December, Eight of Cups and King of Swords. Page of Pentacles in reverse and the Six of Swords. Nine of Wands and the Emperor, Death and the Empress. Okay, so I do feel like the rest of this month, you are going to find that you can get some more clarity in your life around sort of, almost it feels like where you're at in terms of your spirituality and how that fits into your home life, how that fits into like your actual daily experience of life. The moon in reverse indicates things from your unconscious becoming more clear. So pay attention to symbols that you get, messages that you seem to be receiving, or thoughts that pop into your mind that don't match like the train of thinking that you were on, because these are all signs for you. And it is showing, you know, a happy home environment. It's showing that you can start making friendships even sooner than, you know, maybe what we thought from that first reading that we did. Like this Four of Wands tells you that this positive energy of connection and flow and, you know, positive family life, this is coming into your life early and it's already sort of here. So it's really positive. I like that you have Justice and Page of Swords in the month of November, because I feel like there's this really clear-headed energy to both of these cards. I feel like November, you could be cleaning up some things in your life, like maybe getting rid of some things in the home. I also feel, though, that this pair is referring to some kind of area of study. So again, I'm getting that theme because, you know, it came through in your meditation, it came through in your cards. There's something that you can study right now that's a new subject for you, which is going to be really exciting. And I feel like, you know, this is the student and this is sort of like the teacher. So it does feel very spiritual, but it could also be like a different, you know, it doesn't have to necessarily be like a spiritual thing that you're studying. But it does feel like it's strong probability that it could be. So doing something like that for yourself, you know, like making time to take a course or read a book or, you know, learn about a subject that you're interested in November. December, it looks like you could be going on a trip, possibly to visit a Libra or an air sign male. Maybe this is like a parental, like father figure or, you know, something along those lines. I do see, you know, a positive trip though. I feel like everything is going to go off basically without a hitch. And just like positive, you know, energy around there. Clear communication is going to be really helpful too, you know, like if there's any details that need to be sort of reminded to someone, you know, just kind of being really on top of the communication. But overall, this looks like an adventure. It looks like something positive. The Page of Pentacles in reverse and the Six of Swords in January. You have the Page of Pentacles in your main spread as well, so it makes me want to ask you if you have any plans to do any sort of like creative venture for yourself, or, you know, start anything online or do anything that would be good for you financially. If not, this could be referring to like taking a something going on with your body, like a new exercise regimen or, you know, a new diet or something, but it really gets you on the right track, I feel. And there's something, you know, like almost kind of like you're planning it and then, you know, you have to be a little bit strategic about it, but you can see like tangible results with it. Even if you feel like, again, you know, you've got these pages here, you could just be starting out with it, so you might not see results right away, but it does feel like it's going to be a good thing in January. February, you have the Emperor and the Nine of Wands in reverse. There could be some dynamics changing in like some of the relationships in your life. I don't know if this is with your partner or with, someone at work or a family member maybe, but there could be someone in your life who has like a pretty established sort of position somehow, and I feel like you're kind of approaching them with some kind of thing that you want to change or adjust. And the message here is just to be really strong and confident, communicate clearly, don't be afraid, because I do feel like because you have the Empress in the next month, that this is going to work out. There are going to be some changes happening. So if there's like, for example, some things that you want to change about like your relationship dynamic or the dynamic that you have with someone at work, there's something really positive here going on. It's a self-initiated change, so I feel like you are going to be like, seeing something that you want done, or seeing a goal that you have, or seeing an energy that you want to bring into your household or your job or whatever this situation is. And you feel a little hesitant at first, but you communicate about it. You get it out, you make your intentions clear, and I feel like this person hears you. Because then you have the Death card in reverse with the Empress. The Death card is about change, and the Empress is the mate or like the pair to the Emperor. So whatever this is, I feel like you're righting some kind of imbalance in your life. This doesn't feel like a huge imbalance because, again, you're not dealing with it until February and March. So I don't think it's like this really negative, huge, scary thing or anything like that at all. I just feel like it's some kind of thing that you've been meaning to really nail down and shift. And I feel like that happens around the beginning of the year. Could be something having to do with, the new year energy and, setting your intentions, setting your goals and things like that. But, don't be afraid of this. Approach this subject with courage and, trust and love. And these changes are going to happen. I feel like there is some, big shifts that happen in your life with that Empress, in March. Also, that's your birthday month. So this is a really good month. I feel like this is a really powerful birthday for you. It's a time when you can really... You're going to feel a shift. You're going to feel that, things are changing. It's interesting, too, because you have Justice, which you're going into as your year card. I took this card out of another deck before this reading because I wanted to talk to you about it. So you're in your Wheel of Fortune year, which is a time of great change and transition. I'm not sure how much of that you have felt like viscerally in your life up to this point in the year, but you could feel it more even over the next 6 months. However, once we go into your birthday in March of 2018, you're actually going into Justice, which is card 11 after Wheel of Fortune, which is card 10. So we get that by adding 3 plus 15 plus 2017 is 2035. So if we were going to do 3 plus 15 plus 2018, it would be 2036. 2 plus 3 plus 6 is 11. So that's how we get that. Justice as your year card for 2018 really reflects a grounding of the changes that occur in your Wheel of Fortune year. So it's interesting that you have the Justice card in November, because I almost feel like whatever it is that you're studying or, exploring and learning about in November, that's going to be a key element to, like, it's a clue to how your life changes in 2018. So it's pretty exciting, and I'm really interested to hear from you if you have any idea what this is, because I feel like it is going to be a clue for you. Whatever you're studying, it is going to become a bigger part of your life in the coming year. And that, with Justice, it's about grounding the, up in the air energy of the Wheel of Fortune year. It's about taking more of, a sober look, and not sober in a negative way, but just sober, you're clear-headed, you're objective, you're, organized, you're taking, the reins, being in control of things. And also, again, finding, a really nice sense of balance. The Wheel of Fortune year can feel a little bit unbalancing for most people. So if you've been feeling that, if you've been feeling a little bit unbalanced in your Wheel of Fortune year, that's totally normal and, to be expected. So you're going into Justice in March, and this is going to be a year of planning. It's going to be a year of reflecting and doing research and seeing how you ended up where you are today, and asking yourself like what you really want moving forward. Also, it's a time when you could find yourself signing contracts, or dealing with the legal system in any way, making agreements and signing documents and things of that nature. So, be prepared for that. And my advice really going into your Justice year is to do some like deeper reflection first, because once you go into it, you're going to be making some big decisions. Typically you're going to make some really big life decisions in your Justice year. So you want to just make sure that you're really in touch with, what resonates to you on the deepest level. Okay, Angela, that's the reading I have for you today. I hope that it's helpful to you. I hope that it gives you something meaningful and helpful to think about over the next 6 months. And if you have any questions at all, or if you want to offer any feedback, I would love to hear from you through email. So feel free to contact me anytime. I would love, love, love to chat with you. And I'm wishing you an amazing rest of your day. I hope you have like an awesome day and week and month and year, and all the way up to your next birthday. Okay, I hope you have a great afternoon, and I will talk to you later. Bye, Angela.